Thank you for coming to Marana Insights this beautiful September morning. Starting to feel like fall here, so everyone's in a good mood, right? So my name is Amanda Wiggins, and I'm the new president and CEO of the Marana Chamber of Commerce. I'll stop saying that soon. I'm 3 months in. Tell me when that stops. So I'm excited to be here and excited that our chamber is able to offer this programming to our community to really get some of the updates that are really impacting us as a community as well as a business community. So thank you for being here, and we are very excited that we have Jenny Huffman, who is our wonderful MC for this event, and with Imagine Realty. So I'm going to introduce Jenny, and welcome.
Welcome, thank you. Again, it looks like we're starting to fill the room again, which is exciting. Of course, I think October is our last meeting before we break for the holidays, so next month I want to see the room packed. So again, my name is Jenny Huffman. I'm the broker-owner of Imagine Realty Services and your moderator. And to start, I'd like to go around the room, introduce yourself and your company, and so we can start right here with Mo.
Good morning. I'm Mo El Ali. I'm the Director of Public Works for the town of Marana.
Mike Love of Holbrook Asphalt.
Ryan Hancock, Director of Electric Properties.
Betty Covey, Golden Girls of Longevity, and I'm also a board member for the Marana Chamber of Commerce and an ambassador.
Goodness, how do you follow that? Jeff Edward, Tucson Association of Realtors.
Rebecca, Marana Chamber of Commerce. Tammy from Marana Chamber of Commerce.
Yes, Martinez with us.
Laura Cordelute, Town of Marana Economic Development Department.
Andy, Northwest Fire District Training.
I'm Melissa Egan. I'm the Community Relations Supervisor for Northwest Fire District.
Herb White, Economic Development, Town of Marana.
Okay, and the man making it possible for us to be on Facebook Live.
Mike Guillen, the owner of True Fan Marketing.
Okay.
She gets grand introduction.
Well, I'm introducing. So welcome everyone. So great to see you here. And so our first speaker today, we're going to a little bit off of the schedule because of some appointments. But Lisa Schaefer, Town of Marana Community and Neighborhood Services Director, is going to give us an update. Take it away, Lisa.
Good morning, everyone. As introduced, I am the Director of the Community and Neighborhood Services for the Town of Marana. And, well, maybe not. Oh, there we go. User error. If you stand up, it works. So we have a team of 10 in our department, and we have a lot of different divisions that we cover. We have our housing rehab program, basically, through our CDBG grant, code enforcement, animal services. We do community outreach, and I sit on the transit working group for Sun Shuttle and the express routes in the town. The first thing I wanted to mention is our Houses to Home and our community cleanup. This is our CDBG grant that we get. Currently, we're getting funding through Pima County as a subrecipient. We get about $60,000 a year, and we have to spend that and divide it up, and we spend most of it in owner-occupied housing, rehab, and emergency home repair. We do have about $10,000 that we spend on cleanups in the neighborhoods, and primarily we spend that taking large dumpsters and roll-offs into neighborhoods that don't have a lot of services, some of our lower income areas. The great thing I wanted to mention is that with the census this year, we went over 50,000. And then once you're over 50,000, there's a bit of a process, but you become an entitlement city. And then we'll be able to get our own funding straight from HUD, which we believe that number, at 60,000, will go up in excess of probably 300,000 or more. So it'll be a really big change for the town. So we're looking forward to that. It'll be But we have to do a whole process, which I'm sure we'll even come back to you guys in the future because we have to do a lot of outreach with our consolidated plan that we'll have to produce. So you'll see us again. Animal services, we've been doing this now. We're in our 5th year. We've completed 4 years, which has been a great asset to the town. I always like to put on when I come, and I get so excited because of the strays that we pick up, or even our residents pick up and take to the Humane Society. 67% of those are going back to their owners, and so we're just thrilled that that many dogs are going back, and that means that a lot less are staying in the shelters, or not even having to go to the shelters at all. If our animal control officer can get them back to them, to their owners. So one of the big things that we contribute to that is microchipping. So we'll microchip with our spay and neuter clinics, and we usually have No Kill Pima County come out once a year and do a free microchip. So we really promote microchipping on any of the dogs or cats. We return quite a few cats actually with microchips also. Just a little bit of our numbers. Dog license, we stay pretty steady on that. It went down a little bit this year. We attribute that to COVID. You can probably attribute most things to COVID, but we stayed on top of it pretty well, and people were really good. There was a lot of saw a lot of residents that couldn't get into vets. I mean, there was just a lot of, and there's still a lot of backlog getting into vets with still some restrictions. We do great with, we have a wonderful, our residents like to donate to the causes, which are spay and neuter, our low-cost vaccination clinics, like I said, the microchipping. So that has done really well over the last 4 years. And then we're in our 2nd year of receiving grant funding. You see the little logo in the corner here. And those are your pet plate grant, or pup plates that you may see from the state. And they issue out grants every year for spay and neuter options. And so we're in our 2nd year of recipient of those, so that's great. We did do 5, even with COVID, we managed to do our 5 events. We do spay and neuter twice a year, low-cost vaccination twice a year, which this Saturday is our low-cost vaccination at our main building at the MMC up in North Marana. If you're a Marana resident, there's $6 rabies is free. And if you're not a Marana resident, it's only $6, which is a great deal. The Humane Society is coming out to do that, and they also do other vaccinations for a really reasonable cost. So come on out to that. It's from 9 to 11:15. And we do community outreach. This last year has been a little bit more difficult in that sense, but we will go to the town's community events and promote our department. We also will occasionally have other types of community events. We'll have paper shredding, electronic recycle. When we go out to the events, we try to bring Humane Society out to bring dogs for adoption. So we will have dogs at the adoption at Fall Festival. If you come out and want to adopt a dog from the Humane Society. I work well with, we work with the HOAs. Our code enforcement supervisor actually puts out newsletters quarterly to all the HOAs, so that's great. We also will attend HOA meetings. Typically they would like code enforcement, they wanted to come and talk, so they will go and do HOA meetings. The town is on Nextdoor, and so that's a great way that we get out information on anything important that we want the Marana incorporated limits to know about. So we use that quite a bit. Community conversations is something that kind of got put on the back burner with COVID. We are going to actually do kind of a hybrid of community conversations coming up with the water department. And so that'll be a little bit probably in October. So it's gonna be a little different than it normally has been, but we're gonna work on that. And then we help schedule other public meetings for departments if maybe there's a road project that they just want get some word out. So we'll help work on any of those types of projects. We help set up the meetings and everything for the half-cent sales tax, which the last one will be tomorrow at the Sunflower if anybody wants to attend that one. And so the main thing I kind of wanted to chat about today, we're really excited because in our code enforcement, we've been working over the last year to put together the town's first neighborhood preservation code. This has been a dream of our supervisor, Bill Lorfus's, for a very long time. And basically, the main reason we have a lot of this code, a lot of these sections of the code throughout our town code. They're in different titles. And so it's not easy. It's not easy for residents. It's not easy for business owners. It's not easy for staff, to be honest, to utilize all those different codes. And so this document will bring all of those existing codes in. And then we have some additions that we have over the years we've had either issues with or residents have brought up to us. This document itself is I'll just kind of read you to promote the health and safety of the citizens of the town by protecting neighborhoods against public nuisances and to protect neighborhoods from blight through property preservation. So this, the code itself has a lot of definitions. It's not a very, very lengthy document, but I think 3 pages are definitions. And in the past, sometimes they're just a little ambiguous. So this is great. It really clarifies, what we mean, and I'm thrilled with all the new definitions in it. And it clearly identifies what a public nuisance is. So that will help us out, certainly going forward. And then one of the things that is actually in our IPMC code already is the maintenance of commercial business parking lots. It's just a little bit difficult and it doesn't have a lot of oomph to it, so this will really help us out because we do get quite a bit of complaints from people that shop in shopping centers that have potholes, or occasionally the lights aren't turned on at night, so there's different things that are safety concerns, and we want people to come back and we want people to shop in Marana, so we want those shopping centers to look inviting and feel safe. We have securing property used for illegal dumping. Again, that seems to be a problem, especially in the outskirts where people will drive off a road and they don't want to go to the landfill or they don't have trash service. And so this will be helping us on areas like that. It may be that we talk to the landowner and because they're cleaning up property too. They're cleaning it up when it's getting dumped. So I know they're not excited about it either. But maybe putting up a berm or putting up bollards or something. It doesn't have to be anything spectacular. Just try to prevent the traffic getting to where they're dumping. Maintain commercial property entrances free of debris. I think most of you have probably seen that where you have the track out that's coming onto the roads, and that's basically for Mo's group because they don't like having to clean all the roads all the time when you're tracking out dirt, rocks onto the right of way. Prohibit storage of personal property on sidewalks and public streets. This one's new. This one's something, we have multiple residents that have kids, you want to put your basketball hoops out in there so they can play, which is great, which is fine. Just pull it up into your property when it's done. It's a safety hazard to leave things in the right of way overnight. You can't leave them on the sidewalk. That's an ADA accessibility issue. So those are things that are just strictly just for the public right of way areas. And one of the things our PD, our town manager and our PD are very excited about is to help abate regarding the help of the abatement of criminal activity. And it can be, primarily that, could be businesses that maybe have been boarded up or are just not being used any longer. It can be businesses that we have an ongoing issue with. It could be residences that we have an ongoing issue where there is crime going on. So it just gives a little bit more teeth for the PD to help abate those areas and make them safer. Dilapidated buildings is one that was already in the code. It just brings a little bit more light to that. And one thing that we've been doing that wasn't exactly in the code is working through all these violations with a corrective action plan. So the goal has always been with our code enforcement is to get voluntary compliance. And most of the time, they will. They will probably 500 notices of violation, and you only have 50 of them that at the end of the day go to court, and that's just because. And they have worked with some of these people for upwards of a year to get everything fixed. Well, a corrective action plan is just that. So you set a time frame, and it may be a year, and it may you work with them, and as long as they show progress, nothing ever goes to court. So that is ultimately our goal through this whole thing is to continue that plan and just work with all of the residents and business owners, if that's the case, on anything that needs to be corrected. These are our next steps. So as of Monday, we were able to put the draft code up on the town website. We have put it up for 2 weeks. We'll be promoting it and people can review it. There's a section in there you can do public comments on it. If you have more than, or you want to talk to somebody, you can certainly email, you can call us, and we can discuss the document. Any of those ways, if you want to go to council, the council we are anticipating, we don't have a date yet. We were hoping for the first meeting in November, which is typically a Tuesday, which is election day, so I haven't heard what the exact day will be. It could be Wednesday, maybe pushed off a week. So as soon as we know that, we will get this scheduled for council, and so people can come. If you support of it, or if you have an issue with it, certainly either way, please come and talk and speak with council on that. And that's it. Yes, ma'am.
Lisa, first, thanks for being here and sharing this program with us. I think it's really good. One of the reasons that I like having a business in Marana is because we do take care of these little details. I do have a question about the commercial parking lot maintenance. We had an issue a couple weeks ago where the lights were out in our parking lot in the evening. I called the property owner, our landlord, and he said, I can't help it, our electrician can't get the parts he needs. And it was a timer problem. And apparently he couldn't go to Home Depot and buy that. So, with supply chain interruptions that we're all dealing with right now, are you going to be dealing with the lessor, the business owner, or the property owner on some of those issues?
We will probably be dealing with both. The property owner is ultimately the responsible party. Many times we don't have a contact for that property owner, okay, and we have to go through the business owners to get that. So we will probably go through, like I said, go through the people that have the right contact, and then go ultimately to the property owner that is the responsible party. It's the same way we do with for renters of a house. We will, we alert let the renters know, because it's usually them not maybe cleaning up the weeds or there's trash, but we also let the property owner know. So because ultimately they have to get on with their tenant.
Thank you, Lisa. That was excellent information. And again, it's just so great to see the town continuing to move forward with positive things to kind of help the community. So our next speaker is our very own Kirk Woody, Economic Development Director, and he's going to give us an update on new businesses and housing starts.
Very own. You guys own me.
Yes.
So you know the drill. Those of you that have been to these meetings in the past, this is where the portion I come up and talk about projects that I can't talk about and tease you so that you'll come back next month so that I can then tell you about the project that I didn't talk about. So anyway, your residential sheets here, 86 permits for the month of August. I was talking to the planning department yesterday, and there's the potential that we could hit 150 permits for the month of September. The housing market out there, for those of you in real estate, is crazy right now. The breakdown, as you can see in the bar graph down below, a lot of that over the last few months is in North Marana, up in the Gladden Farms area. In fact, that master developer, Crown West, ran out of lots. So they went into escrow with Macerich that owned 300 acres right there by the frontage road in Tangerine at the interchange of I-10. And they just closed on that 300 acres. About 70 of those acres will be reserved for multifamily and single-family residential. There'll be a commercial buffer, and then about 100 acres of industrial that will go there as well. That's one of the projects that we can't talk about, but a major developer in the industrial world ran on the shirt tails of Crown West in escrow for that 100 acres. Since everything has closed, that project will now move forward. So stay tuned. We'll be able to announce that here pretty soon, but there'll be several projects within that 100 acres of industrial, which is in the economic development strategic plan. One of the major sectors is logistics and distribution. So we'll see that happen at the interchange there. We're averaging, if you look at calendar year to date on the residential, we're averaging about 98 permits per month. So we will surpass easily 1,000 permits for the calendar year for 2021. We could potentially get up around the 1,200 mark. So we're setting records. Last year was a record in residential since pre-Great Recession around 2006. And this year may be another record since that time as well. Over 2021 or over 2020 permits. Let's see. All right, let's go with some projects that we're working on right now. Ryan, my assistant, he's the economic development strategic initiative partner of mine. And one thing that we're working on is, we're not sure how that's going to formulate, but perhaps an incubation/accelerator program. I don't see the town of Marana as being the bus driver of that program, but being a partner in it. So if you think of U of A Science and Technology Park, they're a partner within that organization that helps those high-tech and biotech companies incubate from an idea to bricks and mortar and then launch them through accelerator out into the world. I don't see us duplicating that. U of A Science and Tech Park already has that going. They also have a facility up in Oro Valley that they just opened, and they're doing a little bit of that incubation up there, biopharma and that type of thing. We might see it as more of the home-based businesses wanting to get out of the garage and go to bricks and mortar status. So could it be a facility where they have conference space, they have Wi-Fi, they have ability to have their meetings and take that idea that they're working on in their home-based business and moving it to the next phase. So we've talked to U of A Science and Tech Park. We've talked to Pima Community College. They're launching their own incubation program where students that come out of the college wanting to go into manufacturing will go to a facility on their main campus and they incubate that idea or that company into the manufacturing process. So they've got that going on. We should probably focus on maybe a little bit different area. We see that there will be several partners within this, town of Marana, business community, education community as well. So stay tuned. If you've got ideas, come see us. We're just still researching it and looking at all the different incubation programs around the state. And we'll keep formulating that and see what happens over the next year. Just spoke to the developer. So if you've been up in the North Marana area around the Marana exit in I-10, that's going to be our Marana Main Street downtown area. So if you've been up at that roundabout landscaping and hardscaping will start next month. We'll complete that. The first phase of Marana Main Street goes to the edge of a cornfield or cotton field there. That's where a different developer picks up. He's a very visionary developer. We will be meeting with him next month. He's going to come in and talk about his ideas. We've also kicked around the thought of, if he's not quite ready, that we build the rest of Marana Main Street and complete that section so we can get some synergy going and some activity going. But if he is coming in next month and saying, I'm ready to go, we'll build the street, all the better. So stay tuned on that. That will complete the Marana Main Street area, which connects all the way down to where the municipal complex is located. And I think a lot of activity will begin from there. So also in that area, you've heard about the community center, the new community center. It will be down by our complex. So you have the complex, Marana Health Center. Right across the street will be the community center. You've got Northwest Fire Station adjacent to that. And Northwest Fire Administration Facility is going vertical steels up in the air, and that's being built as we speak. So we kind of see that sector down in there, more of an employment type sector. There's 19 acres across the street that we can develop into, whether it be commercial or retail. And then once you get to Greer Road, from there on, it'll be the Marana Main Street experience that we envision, which would be entertainment, dining, retail, all the way up to that roundabout. So keep an eye on that. That's going to be an exciting project. Y'all have seen the release on Amazon, Silver Bell and Ina Road. That is a real project, 220,000 square feet. It's what they consider to be their last mile project model. About 350 plus employees, and they are in for permitting right now, so they should break ground here in the very near future. There's been some grading going on out there, and there's going to be the Alexander apartment complex. So all of that work that you see going on right now, the civil work, that's the apartment complex work. And then Amazon will follow closely after that. Marana Center, Premium Outlet Mall area. Bill Luke dealership is in for permitting. That's still real. It will be on the corner of Marana Center Boulevard and Twin Peaks right there at the light. There will be about 15 plus acres between them and the Premium Outlet Mall. That is a major retail project that is in escrow right now. As soon as they close and they give us the green light, we'll make that announcement. That's one of the teasers. It's a really cool project. You're going to love it. Big retail project. Just heard yesterday that another hotel will go close to the Hampton Inn. It's going to be Home 2 Suites. They were originally thinking about going down at Cortero, but they have now moved up to the Twin Peaks area. The master developer is Vintage Partners out of Phoenix, and they have probably about 50 acres left of those that have already closed. They are in discussions with about 3 to 4 other entities, which will completely build out that entire center. If those all make it through to past escrow to purchase, then we can announce those projects as well. One of them is pretty significant, and I think everybody will be pretty happy with that. Other than that, I'd already mentioned up at Tangerine and I-10, other projects are coming forward with that as well. If you drive up in that area, you see Roche going vertical with their second building. Those panels are going up right now as we speak. So with that, I'll take any questions.
On the Amazon project, I live right over there, and so I'm watching what's going on. So you're saying all the grading is going on now for the apartments?
Most of it, yes. Okay. Some of it close to the corner is pre-grading for Amazon.
Oh, right, okay. What is we're expecting traffic flow there, because there's going to be big trucks going in and out, right? Do you know what the traffic pattern will be in terms of new signal lights on INA? Where's their main entrance going to be?
Yes, there's going to be another signal light on INA. There's also going to be, in fact, Mo would be best at answering that question. He's very familiar with that.
Yeah, there will be another signal, south. It's essentially north of the existing INA Silverbell signal. And we will do modifications to the INA Silverbell signal for left turn.
Okay, so now there's the curb cut on INA east of the intersection. There's a curb cut right now where the big trucks are going.
That would be also one of the ways in and out.
Signal there?
No signal on INA.
Okay.
Just on Silverbell. Just on the Silverbell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've done a traffic study, which they're required to do, and it looks like the patterns are going to be pretty good in that area.
Just wanted to know, what they indicated to us is that 95% of the traffic is going to come from
That's a weird thing, because it makes more sense to go back to the and QT access and everything, so that's what we're thinking might be next to the
No. That would be a right turn. That would be coming from I-10, would be a right turn. We don't need
coming from I-10, but actually we'll be making a left out on the INA and down. The other thing to keep in mind is a lot of people, especially the neighbors, have been concerned about noise from trucks and additional pollution and things of that nature. Most people are familiar with Amazon know that they are moving toward electric vehicles, and that's what this facility is going to have, 450 electric vans. Most of the trucks come very early in the morning and late at night, so it should be a great impact on traffic.
So now, I know we're talking about it every time, but they're going to use more gas.
Yeah, most of the deliveries vehicles. So the larger delivery trucks come first thing early in the morning.
Any other questions?
No questions, but can I throw in that the Alexander's having their groundbreaking on Alexander Apartments is from Sears Financial, and they're going to be, they're right behind the Target Center at Thornydale on the Gary Drive tomorrow.
Very good.
At noon, 12:30 ground.
Any other questions? All right, great. Thanks.
Thank you, Kurt. I'm waiting with great anticipation on some of these projects that you haven't been able to really talk about. So our last speaker today is Mo Ilali, our Public Works Director and for the town of Marana, and he is going to give us some updates.
All right, thank you. Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me, inviting me. Happy to be here. Public Works Department consists of the following divisions or programs. As you can see, we have 8. The purpose of the administration division is to direct and coordinate the efforts of all these programs in providing quality services to the residents, businesses, and visitors of Marana. This is the asset management. This is our asset portfolio, if you will. All these assets, as you can see, we have 591 lane miles of pavement. If you were here or listened to the last year's presentation, was 573. It's not exact because year by year, because projects overlap fiscal years. As you can see, we have 30 traffic signals. We have 56 employees, and the capital and operating budget together is around $46 million. Last year, we worked hard on Public Works and Parks partnership. It started about 3 years ago. If you recall, and if you've seen, we had the landscape crew within our department, and they would prune the trees. I mean, they would prune them really well because they didn't want to go back. So we would get Parks, Parks are experts in that, and we would get them to help us with that. And then they would also help us with the irrigation system. They're really good at it. And then we would help them with asphalt maintenance, concrete, if they needed help. So there was duplication of services. So we started talking about 3 years ago, hey, how about if you take over the landscaping and maintenance mainly, and we take over the maintaining the asphalt and concrete, because we do that a lot. As you saw, we have 591 lane miles of pavement, and we have the crews for it. So we worked on the partnership, and July of this year, we transferred our landscape and irrigation crews to Parks, and we got positions for maintaining the parks, parking lots, signs, lighting, the shared use paths, along the Santa Cruz River. So that's been done, but we still coordinate and work well together. So this is a good example for how you look at services within and make it more efficient, more effective within the town. The street maintenance program, they have several programs within that. The pavement management program, which is we maintain our pavements throughout the town. As I mentioned, as you saw, we have 591 lane miles of pavement. I mean, that's quite a bit. So we look at the whole network. We program funds every year for keeping those good roads in good condition. We have a maintenance IGA with Pima County. As you know, we have several islands within the town. So we worked on an IGA with Pima County where, for example, along Ever Valley Road, there is a small section within the town limits that belongs to Pima County. So rather than them maintaining that small section, we take over and maintain that. In return, they maintain some other areas. So it's been working very well. We have a maintenance IGA with ADOT, where we maintain, we take care of the weeds along I-10, the shoulders. We can't go in the median. We also paint the bridges, along I-10 every 3 to 5 years. Orange Grove Bridge is coming up next. We're going to be painting that. We have a storm preparedness plan. Essentially, it's a communication plan. As you saw this year, the monsoon, we got, it's got 2 more days. It's a record. It's like the third. We could be second if we get more rain. I think we're short like 3/10 of an inch. We need in the next 2 days. And so this year we had 26 locations that we had damage on, and we responded quickly. Made sure that the roads are safe for residents and the traveling public. So it is a communication plan within the department. It's also a good communication plan with MPD We get alerts, ahead of time. We get the crews assigned to different areas, ready for response and recovery. So every year we improve it a little bit. It's a great communication plan. We also, in the winter, we get the freeze, and then we have to apply chemical magnesium chloride to the bridges to make sure they're safe. So the crews apply the chemical, in the evening, and they might have to go during the night also and apply it again, depending on the need. We also have a bridge and culvert management program. Our bridges are inspected, part of the National Bridge Inspection Program by the ADOT once every 2 years, and they point out some of the issues, and then we follow up with maintaining those. Right now, the last one we had the Thornydale Bridge over CDO. They pointed out that the expansion joints need to be repaired. Then we got with the county because their bridge on Ina over the CDO, it's in worse shape. The joints are bad, the deck is bad. So we work with the county, and they have a project they just bid recently, and they're going to start working on their project, and we're going to dovetail ours into there so we can make sure both bridges are safe. The street sweeping program is also within the streets division. We sweep our major roads monthly, and we sweep the subdivisions quarterly. We also, we sweep after accidents, after events, 4th of July. And there's a great benefit to it, as Lisa mentioned, the streets have to be clean, safe, but also the sediment gets into the storm drains, and then it builds up there, and then it cause potential flooding. We also have the ADA, which is the American Disabilities Act, ramps and sidewalk programs. So we make sure we look at subdivisions and make sure that they conform to the ADA, and we have a program. This is this year's pavement preservation program, and the budget for the project is $2 million. And I mentioned last year, if you recall, I mentioned that we're creating a portal for that. So you could go to our website, and there is a portal. And it's not just, you'll see the list of the projects, there you see a dashboard, and there's a lot of information on there about the pavement management. So we take it seriously. The town really, since 2012, is investing, the Mayor Council invested heavily in maintaining and keeping our roads in good shape. All the money we get from the highway user revenue funds goes directly into that. And I think we're the only agency that I know that does that. Most agencies, the highway user revenue funds is used for salaries, and they don't have enough money to maintain, anything. But ours, it all goes into maintaining the roads and all the other assets that you saw. The traffic management, I also mentioned this last year that we were looking at, a traffic management software, and we did an evaluation white paper. And we are using already the MaxView. It's a centralized traffic signal management. We try and get all the signals connected. You saw on the assets we have 30 signals. 27 of those are full signals, and 3 are pedestrian hybrid beacons, which are called the HOP signals, pedestrian crossing beacons. We have 18 of those are already connected to this system. And last month we applied for a grant through PIMA Association of Government to get possibly federal funding or highway user revenue funding to get 15 more licenses. So as we get new signals, we get them connected. And you see the advantages there of having a signal. Instead of a technician standing there at the signal and programming the timing, this could be done remotely from the office. Instead of people calling us to say there is a problem or an accident, we get the alert before anybody else. There's an alert, on the phone and email to the technicians directly. And so the updates can be done also remotely. This system was used here regionally since 2000. The state used it. And so we got the 25 licenses from the state. We purchased those. And the last benefit is that it maintains a database of signal timing and events. A lot of times they come and ask us after an accident, the attorneys get involved, what is the timing and what is the information, and we would have that already. All the signals have, each signal has a clock. The clocks have to be really exactly the same for the timing. If one signal is a few seconds off, then it throws everything off. So this helps with that also. We're very excited. Also with the traffic management, for the last 3 years we worked on the LED street lighting conversion. Right now all the signals and the street lights are all converted, and that would save us about $35,000 each year, energy costs, and it's also better lighting. The town performed an audit study several years ago, and they have a list of projects, and we're implementing those as far as the conversion. For Terror Road and I-10 restriping, you see it right there in the picture. We worked with ADOT, and ADOT did some adjustments to the signal timing. We worked with them on the striping, and so far it's been working well the last couple of months. And this year we restriped, you saw the assets, 3 million linear miles of striping. We restriped so to make sure it's safe, 2 million miles. And 100% of the signs are inputted now into the sign database. So, we collect all the assets, whether it's signs, whether it's sidewalks, bridges, pavements, all those are inputted into the Cartograph software system that helps us streamline and manage those assets. Lead services, this year, starting July, we got budget for implementing a new fleet management software. We also use Cartograph, the same system, so we're using both together to help us with managing the fleet. We're also remodeling an area at MMC. It's called Sally Port. That's where the police department was housed previously. So we can provide service at MMC. We have a lot of vehicles there, so routine maintenance can be done there. We're exploring a vehicle and equipment replacement due to the shortages. I believe this is a global issue. So we're going to start looking at alternatives of what do we do. If we can't get certain type of vehicle or equipment, what are we going to do? What are the options? And then we're continuing with the asset inventory evaluation. Some of our small equipment, they need a lot of maintenance. So we're trying to evaluate, we have a lot of them, whether it's worth to keep maintaining them or replacing them. Facilities management, we are working on updating the facilities master plan. It was done around, the last one around 2010. We want to do surveys, work with all the departments, because you heard Kurt, we're growing, like crazy. And so we need to make sure we are prepared. The growth causes a strain on our systems, and so we need to plan for it. The custodial services this year, we used to have a contract. This year we hired staff. We're doing it internally. We're trying to make sure, the schedules work with every department. So we're getting feedback and input. So we got some positive feedback and some feedback that we need to work on. So we're continuing to work on that. We will be remodeling, facility staff will be remodeling a small warehouse at the MOC, the Marana Operations Center here off of Aina, to create a small gym for all town employees to use. The ones in the field, they could use that. And there is a project to complete the LED lighting, at MMC. That project would save about $26,000 in energy cost every year. The investment is around $200,000. So that was part of also the audit that was completed. And then we will continue to evaluate the recommendations of that audit to see what other projects, could be funded to save money on energy costs.
Kurt mentioned some of these projects. Wanted to highlight some of the projects in the capital improvements program. Typically, this is a whole presentation by itself, but just wanted to let you know what's being worked on this year. Lon Adams Road reconstruction. The project has been designed. We're awaiting the utility clearance. The solicitation for contractor services will be going out soon, and we'll start construction of that. Kurt mentioned the Marana Main Street extension from the roundabout to Greer, and so we're working on the scoping for that project. Tangerine Farms Road from the same Marana Road to I-10, that's another project we're working on the scoping for that. So if we have to, the town gonna construct those two projects, we'll start to design. So it'll be 1 year to 18 months design and then followed by construction. Twin Peaks Road, Rattlesnake Pass, that goes from the intersection of Twin Peaks and Silver Bell all the way to the west end of the Saguaro Bloom development. And Twin Peaks Sandario Road intersection, it's in the design phase right now. Our plan is to construct that intersection in the summer when the when the schools are out. You know, most of the construction will happen during the summer. The airport will, there'll be a detailed, I believe, presentation next month. The new airport manager is Barbara Hempel. I don't think she's here. We've talked recently about, ways to promote the airport. We're going to be working with the communications office, Kurt, and whatever is necessary to promote the airport. One big project at the airport is the air traffic control tower. We're going to be working on the siting study this year. After the siting study is completed, there will be the environmental assessment, environmental clearance. This is a federally FAA-funded project and state. And then after that, we'll work on the design of the tower and then construction. So about 2024 or so, 2024, 25, we will have a tower at the airport. There's a project this year for replacement of the runways lighting systems and the rotating beacon. Rotating beacon is, it's for the pilot to see where the airport is. So there's a project funded to do that work this year. And working on the design and of the east and west hangar aprons. And there's ongoing construction of the J.D. Russell company right now, hangar. But as I mentioned, next month, Barbara will be here to provide a little more detail. Thank you, and open up for questions, and this is our contact information.